At the heart of your growth of your SaaS business, at the heart of everything that you're doing to promote your product in the market, to stand out, to actually generate revenues, at the heart of all of that is your go-to-market strategy. And your go-to-market strategy is one of those things where at certain parts of the year, it's just a good idea to pause, reflect, and figure out what's working and what's not. I tend to do this towards the end of each quarter and also towards the end of the year and the middle of the year. These are great times to make sure that all the activities that we're doing to drive growth are actually working. Before you send that cold email, before you run those ads, before you sponsor that event, before you start that podcast or that TikTok channel, you need to pause and you need to make sure that you've got the right go-to-market strategy to drive your growth. Here's the big question though. What goes into a proper go-to-market strategy? How do you know if yours is any good or not? How do you make sure that you're constantly revamping your go-to-market strategy so you can actually drive scale? In this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles that you absolutely need to know on how to revamp your go-to-market strategy so you can accelerate your path to that next stage of growth. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. If you're already part of this community, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching programs, my people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. Over the past 4 years of running this channel, of running my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, I've coached over 250 companies on how to build out and execute on their go-to-market strategy. Over the years, we've had companies that have reached profitability, have accelerated 3x to 5x growth, have raised follow-on funding, and even now I'm continuing to coach SaaS founders on how to revamp their go-to-market strategy and continue their growth. So in this episode, based on everything that I've learned on actually coaching founders, on running my own SaaS companies, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 principles that you absolutely need to know on how to revamp your go-to-market strategy and accelerate your growth. So if you're excited to dig into principle number 1, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's dig right into it. So as you're looking at your go-to-market strategy, which is separate from actual execution is all the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, like running ads or posting online or doing a podcast or opening up a TikTok channel, whatever it may be. The strategy is what you do to actually go about doing those things. It's what guides those actions. So principle number 1, when you're looking at your go-to-market strategy, to make sure you have the right one, is to ask yourself who. Who are you actually serving and who is your ideal customer? If you are at revenues, then chances are you have some revenue data and you can start to talk amongst yourselves, whether it's just you or your co-founder or your team, and start to understand what are the customers that consistently buy from us, stay from us, and continue to actually renew. And this usually goes into an ideal customer profile. Now, everyone thinks they have an ideal customer profile until they actually work with me. When I work with founders, the reason they're successful in their go-to-market strategy and executing on it and building it and scaling is because we follow a 29-point analysis on actually defining a proper go-to-market strategy. So one of the first key pillars of actually making sure you have the right go-to-market strategy that'll help you be successful in driving growth, in differentiating yourself in the market, to make sure you're doing those ads or the podcast or the content or whatever it is that you're doing in the right way, is to actually properly define an ideal customer profile and define who is it that is your ideal customer. And one of the common things that I see when folks go about building an ideal customer profile, one of the common mistakes is they confuse their ideal customer profile with their total addressable market. The total addressable market is all the people in the entire world that can possibly need your product and should buy your product. Your ideal customer profile is defining exactly who's gonna buy in the next 12 months. So let's just say you're at $1 million in ARR. How do you actually get to 2 million or 3 million, whatever your growth target is? How many customers is that and who's most likely to buy from you in the next 12-month period? Typically, that's very different than the total addressable market that you could be going after over time. And this is one of the key things you want to figure out as you're building out your ideal customer profile. This is one of the 29 things that I usually have founders go through. Once you have your ideal customer profile, then comes principle number 2 for your go-to-market strategy. Principle number 2 is why. And another way I refer to this and get founders to think about this is, what is your 10x message. It is a noisy world out there with SaaS. Whether you have a direct SaaS competitor or you have some sort of legacy competitor, or it's just an Excel spreadsheet or paper, depending on the target market that you're going after, there is competition and it's a noisy world. And also at the end of the day, people don't really want more software, so the default competitor could just be doing nothing even though your software is incredible. So one of the biggest things in your go-to-market strategy is to really define, why should people buy your software? Why should people buy your software now? And also, more importantly, why are you 10 times better than the alternative that exists in the market? Whether it's another software platform or just doing nothing. One of the biggest ways to really flesh out your why is to build a proper value proposition and build a proper manifesto, otherwise known as a strategic narrative. When you do these things, you're able to actually articulate exactly why people should actually be buying your product and taking action now versus 6 months from now or 12 months from now or never. These are the two key pillars of a proper go-to-market strategy. Who is it that you're going after over the next 12-month period, codifying that in a proper ideal customer profile, and actually defining why they should buy from you, and why they should buy from you now, and why you're 10 times better than the default alternative. Now, there is a third principle that really brings all this together. But before I go to principle number 3, let me just pause here for a second. Are you starting to see the power in this? Doing this every quarter, doing this in the end of the year, in the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, doing these in specific intervals to revamp your go-to-market strategy and asking these questions can actually make the difference in making sure you don't stall out in your growth. Typically with SaaS companies, what got you to this point isn't the thing that's going to get you to that next stage of growth. So asking these questions and codifying it in a proper go-to-market strategy makes a world of difference to make sure that you can actually compete in the market. So if you start to see the power in this, if you start to see the power of how just codifying the strategy to make sure that you exactly know how to compete in the market and how to communicate your value and who you should be talking to, it makes such a huge difference. Can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. And so do we. We put a lot of love into these videos. Also, if you're in this stage where you're building out your go-to-market strategy to actually drive growth for your SaaS business, and you want help in actually fleshing these pieces out, this is how I help inside my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode. Let's go into principle number 3, where all these pieces start to come together for your revamping your go-to-market strategy. Okay, so principle number 1 was really defining and articulating who is it that is your ideal customer into an ideal customer profile. Principle number 2 was defining your message. What is your 10x message and what's your manifesto that you can put out there? Well, principle number 3 is the how. It defines exactly how these people in your ideal customer profile are going to see your message, your 10 times differentiated message. Again, it's a noisy world out there. So this is where the actual execution of your go-to-market strategy comes to make sure this message that's so compelling is actually seen by your ideal customers. And this is where what I call a Broadway show comes in. This is how your ideal customers actually discover you. Now, one of the common mistakes that I see when I meet founders is sometimes they just don't have a consistent set of sales and marketing activities to bring their message to their ICP on a consistent basis. Other times, they're just doing scatterbrained things. One day it's a podcast, another day it's a TikTok, another day is this one weird trick some influencer taught you that's gonna get you millions of followers, and none of it is really working. The biggest thing you actually have to do with a proper go-to-market strategy is double down on one channel. This is what I always coach founders when they're starting out with me. There's always one channel that works really well for your ideal customer profile. And so you really want to make sure you achieve channel mastery by that one channel. And when you know the messaging is working, your ideal customer profile is engaging, then you can scale with additional channels with the messaging that you have. This methodical way of actually driving awareness in the market, getting your message out there and scaling that is what I call a Broadway show. A Broadway show is a consistent set of sales and marketing activities that you run so that your ideal customers discover your message, get into your buyer journey, engage with your product or your sales team, and eventually buy from you. So those are the 3 core principles for revamping your go-to-market strategy so you can kickstart growth. Let's recap from here. Principle number 1 is to define who is your ideal customer to get to that next stage of growth. This is codified in a proper ideal customer profile. Principle number 2 is defining why they need to buy from you, and they need to buy from you now. This is your 10x message. This is your value proposition. It's your strategic narrative. It's what I call a manifesto. And the third principle is once you have those 2 pillars, once you have your who and your why, it's actually running the consistent set of sales and marketing activities to bring this message to your target audience in a consistent basis so they start to trust you, so they start to engage with you, so they become leads, and then they become trials and opportunities and turn into revenue. Those are the 3 principles to revamping your go-to-market strategy so you can kickstart growth for the second half of the year. Now you know exactly what you need to do to actually revamp your go-to-market strategy and drive growth. Now what you may not know is, TK, how do I actually build out a proper ideal customer profile? You said there are 29 points that go into it. It's not just a wish list and it's not the TAM. How do you actually make a proper ideal customer profile? Once you do that, TK, how do I actually differentiate myself in a very noisy space? There are other players. There's a lot of apathy. Sometimes buyers just don't make decisions very quickly. How do I craft my 10x message so people really understand why they should go with our product? And how do we actually differentiate ourselves in the market? And you may also be wondering, TK, how do I run a Broadway show? Like what channels? How do I deploy this? How do I actually get leads instead of just a bunch of likes? And how do I turn that into revenue? These are core pieces in actually building out a go-to-market strategy and then mobilizing it. So if you're in this stage where you have revenues and you're like, look, I need to revamp my go-to-market strategy so that I can actually differentiate myself in the market and actually drive growth, this is why I created my SaaS go-to-market coaching program. Inside of this coaching program, we work you through 3 things, and I work with you one-on-one. I work with you to make sure that you're set up for success, that you're actually reducing execution risk, and you're actually building out your strategy and executing on it. The way we do this is we first build out your ideal customer profile. I'll teach you exactly what you need to do, that 29-point analysis, to actually make sure you have the right ideal customer profile so you exactly know who your ideal customers are. Once you have your ICP, then I teach you how to build out your manifesto. Your manifesto is your 10x messaging. It's your value proposition. It's your strategic narrative. It's how you really talk about the transformation you're bringing in your customers' lives with your SaaS product. Once you have those 2 pieces and you have your core strategy, then comes the execution. And that's the third pillar. That's your Broadway show. That is a consistent set of sales and marketing activities that you run on a consistent basis, on a weekly basis, to bring your manifesto to your ICP on a consistent basis and generate pipeline from it that turns into real revenue. It is an incredible program. Typically, founders that join the program are able to revamp their go-to-market strategy and then start executing on it within the first 3 weeks of joining. And then I'll coach you and guide you in actually iterating on it and scaling it across multiple channels as you start to collect the data and see what works and what doesn't work. It is an incredible program. We've shared so many success stories of founders that have gone through this program. So if you want to work together and you want to actually revamp your go-to-market strategy and scale your growth, just go to tkkader.com/GTM. tkkader.com/GTM. In that page, you'll get all the details about how the program works. Now, the better the fit, the better the results, which is why if you want to work together, you just fill a little form, answer a few questions, and you can get on a call with us. We'll review where you are in the business, what your goals are. If it sounds like a fit, we're off to the races right away. So if you want to work together, if you want to revamp your go-to-market strategy, you want to implement these 3 principles, and you want to reduce execution risk on actually driving growth for your SaaS business, just go to tkkader.com/GTM for all the details. Now, if you got values from this video, which hopefully you did, if you're still watching, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Also, if you're new, I drop an episode like this every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. If you have a fellow founder, if you have a team member, if you're part of a WhatsApp group or a Slack group of other founders, please share this video with them. It'll just mean the world to us. We want to help as many SaaS founders as possible build incredible software companies. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode or inside the SaaS Go-to-Market Coaching Program. Take care, everybody.